Welcome to English Stories by Manvi Sharma, where simple stories create powerful lessons. Hello everyone, and welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to share a really important and meaningful story with you. It's called The Boy Who Laughed at Others, and it's all about kindness and respect and, well, why we should never, ever judge people.
All right, so let's picture this. Our story starts in a busy school, and that's where we meet a boy named Rohan. Now, if you just looked at Rohan, you'd think he had it all figured out. He was bright, he was popular, and honestly, he had a lot of really good qualities.
He was smart, for sure, and always so confident. But there was this one bad habit he had, and it wasn't a small thing. It kind of cast a shadow over all his good qualities. It was a habit that really, really hurt people. You see, Rohan, he liked to laugh at others.
And it didn't seem to matter what it was about. Like, for example, if another student got up the courage to go to the blackboard and, maybe they made a tiny little mistake,
he'd be the first one to laugh. A big, loud laugh. He just thought it was hilarious. And it's like he didn't even see the other person's face turning red with embarrassment.
Or, say, if someone came to school wearing clothes that were pretty simple, maybe not as new or fancy as what everyone else had. Yep, you guessed it. That same loud laugh would just echo down the hallway. He'd even laugh if someone was having a tough time speaking English, making fun of them. You can imagine how his classmates felt, pretty hurt and alone. But Rohan, he just didn't seem to get why his jokes weren't funny to anyone else.
But things like this can't last forever. And one day, everything in that classroom was about to change. It all started the moment a new student walked through the door. His name was Arjun. And wow, he was the total opposite of Rohan. He was quiet, kind of shy actually. His clothes were very simple, and when he spoke, you could tell he really thought about his words, speaking slowly and carefully.
So, the moment Arjun stood up to introduce himself, that loud, familiar laugh just burst out of Rohan. And when they heard him, a few other students kind of joined in, a little nervously. Oh, you can just imagine how Arjun must have felt, his cheeks getting all hot. He just looked down at his shoes, his whole body slumping with embarrassment.
But Rohan's world, well, it was about to get flipped completely upside down. He was about to find out exactly what it felt like to be the one everyone was laughing at.
So what happened was, one morning, the teacher made a big announcement, and you could feel all these mixed emotions ripple through the classroom. There was going to be a school-wide speech competition, and everyone had to do it, no exceptions. Now, while most of the kids looked pretty nervous, Rohan, he just sat there with this little smile on his face. He was so sure of his English skills, you could almost hear him thinking, "Oh yeah, this is easy. That trophy's got my name on it."
So when it was finally Rohan's turn, he walked up onto that stage with his head held high, just brimming with confidence. But then, he looked out at the crowd, and as he saw all those eyes staring back at him, this sudden cold feeling of panic just washed over him. All that confidence? It just, poof, vanished. He glanced down at his notes, but the words were just a blur. And then he realized his hands had started shaking, and he couldn't make them stop.
And then it happened. The thing every single person who gives a speech is terrified of. His mind went totally blank. He couldn't remember one single word of the speech he knew so well just a minute ago.
He just stood there, frozen. And in that awful, quiet moment, a sound started to creep in. A sound he knew so well. It was laughter. Some of the students were laughing at him. And for the very first time, Rohan felt that sharp sting of humiliation, that same feeling he had given to so many others without a second thought.
So as Rohan just stood there, his head hanging down in shame, something happened that no one expected. A moment of real, true kindness that was about to change everything.
It was Arjun, the very same boy Rohan had been so cruel to. He stood up, and his voice wasn't loud, but it was so clear and strong as it cut right through the laughter. He just said, "Don't laugh. Everyone makes mistakes."
And just like that, the whole room went silent. Then Arjun walked right up onto the stage, stood next to Rohan, and just whispered something to him. And that small act of kindness, it was enough. Rohan took a deep breath and slowly, even though he was still shaking a little, he finished his speech. That day, that was a huge turning point for Rohan. He learned a lesson on that stage that you could never, ever learn from a textbook. It was a lesson he would never forget.
Right after the competition was over, he didn't even wait. He walked right over to Arjun, looked him straight in the eye, and said, so sincerely, "I'm so sorry for laughing at you." And Arjun, he just smiled this warm smile and accepted his apology. Just like that.
And you know what? This wasn't just him feeling guilty for a minute. From that day on, Rohan really, truly changed. He stopped looking for things to make fun of in people. Instead, he started looking for the good in them, and he treated everyone with the kindness and respect they always deserved.
So the moral of our story today is a really powerful one, and it's something I hope we can all carry with us. It's this: never be too quick to judge people or to laugh at them, because we just never know what's going on in someone else's life or the struggles they might be facing.
And that leaves us with just one simple question to think about as we go on with our day. How can you show a little bit of kindness to someone today? Thank you so much.